Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Journey of an Average Gamer, Final Fantasy VII Edition. This is episode 32, the final grind. So this is going to be our final grind because we're going to be basically maxing out everything. We're going to get our characters up to level 99. We're going to increase their stats, all of their stats, to the maximum that we can be able to do it. We're also going to be doing a couple of other things. So this video is going to be pretty fragmented. So when it comes to certain things, as far as in-depth explanations, I will be cutting this video up into pieces and adding commentary before I explain what you're going to watch. So that way you can have a little bit more in-depth understanding as to what I'm about to do. Also, each one of these videos is going to come from a standpoint of the save point in the main grind area. That's going to be our focal point. So when I do separate the videos and the many things that we're going to accomplish is going to be from the save point onward. So that way you'll be able to understand and have a point of reference. So that's going to be our tether point, that save point. So in this video, we're going to be grinding in this area that has the best XP and the best AP that you can actually get. Now in this area, we're going to have a thing called magic pots. We're also going to have tonberries, and we're going to have movers. There's going to be 3 movers. There's going to be other enemies, but they're not going to be that great worth mentioning. The 3 that are going to be worth mentioning are the 3 that I mentioned. And that's because if you fight one magic pot, you're going to get 8,000 XP and 1,000 AP. A lot of times you're going to get a battle with 2 magic pots and not just one. So that's going to be double. So that's going to be 16,000 XP and 2,000 AP. Also, the Tonberry is going to be another great mob spawn because if you morph them using Yuffie, you can get a ribbon which is going to protect you from status ailments. Also, by beating the Tonberry, you're going to get 6,000 XP and 200 AP. Now, the great thing about that is if you actually got the EX Plus from the Gold Salsa area, that's going to help you to level 99 that much faster. And when it comes to maxing out your AP, you're always going to want to use Cloud and Sid in your party because the Apocalypse Sword and the Scimitar both have triple materia growth. And whoever you're going to have in your third party, make sure that they have their 4-slot double materia growth weapon and put the rune armlet on all 3 of them, so that way you'll have double materia growth from your armlet equipment. The third one is going to be the movers. When you find movers, basically they're going to be 3 little orange balls. Now these ones aren't going to offer you any XP, but these ones will give you 2,400 AP. So when it comes to maxing out your materia, that's going to be great. So maxing out your materia, we're going to do that here. And we're going to get into the mastered materia, which I'm going to break down when I get to the mastered materia portion. Also, if you're trying to get the coming up all 9s achievement by getting the 9999999 gil, you're going to do that right here as well. So what you're going to do is it's going to be pretty much simple. You're going to be doing the same thing that you're doing when you're grinding in this area. Is just instead of maxing out other materials, you're going to max out a crap ton of all materials. And then you're going to go to Mount Corel and you're going to sell them for the 1.3 million gil. And depending on how much gil you have at the time and how many mastered alls you have, you'll get that pretty quickly. So that's not going to be that big of an issue. Also, we're going to be source farming. So we can go to the Sunken Gelnica ship and source all of our farm all of our source materials. And also too, we're going to get the underwater materia, which is going to be for the weapon battles in the next episode. Also too, we're going to be getting the mastered materia. So again, when we get to the various elements of what we're going to do, I'm going to break down the video because it's a lot to explain. So leading into the first thing I'm going to lead into is going to be the W item glitch. So guys, all right, for the W item glitch, it's important to know that the pots won't attack you unless you attack them first. So it gives you an opportunity to get the glitch perfectly. So what you're going to do is select W item, and this will allow you to select 2 items. So you're going to select the first item, which is the elixir, and then the second item, which is the elixir. Now you're gonna go back and cancel. Now, as you can see, when it comes to that second item, every time I cancel and go back, cancel the second item and go back, cancel that second item and go back, that number of the elixir continues to go up by 1. Now, you see how it's going up by 1? 58, 59, 60, 61. We're gonna do that with all of our items to our battle items. So all your potions, all your ethers, these are things that you can use this glitch on. Now, the reason why you want 99 elixirs is because this pot enemy can only be destroyed if you give it an elixir. So you can perhaps try to kill it without giving it an elixir, but you're not going to get any kind of XP or AP from the kill. So you have to give it each one of them an elixir, then kill it in order to get the 16,000 XP and 2,000 AP. So basically fill up your whole inventory, but as your elixirs get low, continue to do this glitch so that way you can continue to battle these pots and continue to rack up on your XP and AP. Alright guys, now that we out of the cave, we're going to go back to the airship to get our master materia. So again, you see how we just boarded the airship? This is what we're going to continuously do in order to swap out party members to get them all to level 99. So what we're going to be doing is getting that master command materia. So in order to get that master command materia, we're going to have to go see Bugenhagen in Cosmo Canyon. We have to go in his observation tower. Now, the kicker behind getting the master materia is, let's say for example, the magic materia, the green one. There's 21 of those. In order for us to get that mastered materia, we're going to have to master each one of the 21 master materias, the magic materias, like lightning, fire, earth, comet, so on and so forth. So there's 21 of those materias in all. Every time you master a materia, it splits. So all in all, we're going to end up having 21 mastered magic materias and 21 baby materias. So each one of those, when we get to the observational tower, when we interact with the green magic huge materia, it's going to merge all of those 21 mastered materials into one materia. So it only takes up one materia slot, but we're going to have access to every magic command. And that's going to save a heck of a lot when it comes to the slots, the materia slots on your armors and your weaponry, because we're going to be able to have access to all the commands. So you see how I'm interacting with the green materia? Magic materia blend. So now I'm going to perform the blend, and boom. Master magic materia. So now we're going to have one materia that contains each one of those 21 different materia abilities. We're going to do the same thing for the command and for the summon. We have to master all of those. Now the difference between this materia, the command materia, is that you only have to master Steal, Morph, Mime, Sense, Death Blow, Throw, and Manipulate. So when it comes to like ×2 cut, ×4, you don't have to master that W item, W summon. We don't have to worry about mastering those to get the master command materia. Just master the ones that you just seen. And when it comes to the master summon, we have to master each one of these summon materias, which is going to be no problem because we're in an area where we can actually maximize our growth ability with the triple materia and double materia items. And that's going to be how we're going to get that. Now, when we blended the 21 mastered magic materias, it gave us one mastered materia. So if we want to, let's say, get 2 other mastered materias to put on our other 2 party members, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to master another 21 of the magic materials in order to blend it to get an additional, and then we're going to have to do that again to get an additional for the other party member. So that way all 3 of our party members will end up having the each mastered materia. So again, because you're going to be grinding, you're going to basically have the time to actually maximize each one of those masters materias, so that way each one of your party members can actually get one. But this is how you get the master command materia, the master magic materia, and the master summon materia. So again, if you're grinding, continue to grind. Having that EX plus materia that you got from the gold saucer will help you get to 99 quicker. And when it comes down to mastering the mastered materia, after you finish mastering all of your mastered materia, what you're gonna do is swap out your materias, and you're gonna get a crap ton of the all materia. Now when it comes to the all materia, that's how you're gonna get the coming up all nines achievement, by mastering all of those all materias that sell for 1.3 million gil each. And that's how you're going to get that achievement. So I'm going to show you that in a second. Alright guys, I'm back out of the cave after grinding some of my all materials. I actually did leave the cave again to sell some of my alls, but it turns out that I didn't have enough. So I bought some more at Fort Condor and started mastering them. So this is going to be pretty much the end result of grinding all my alls and accumulating all that gil. So what we're going to end up doing is getting back inside the high wind, and we're going to go to the nearest place to sell my guild, which is going to be Mount Corel, because that's where we're going to get the most money out of our guild, from Mount Corel. And we're going to sell each one of them for the 1.3 million gil. So I'm going to get this achievement right here. As you can see, there goes the achievement, coming up all 9s. So really, you know, you don't have to necessarily worry about mastering alls since the beginning of the game, even though it does help get some of the items from the stores. But, you know, when you get to this area right here, then you'll be able to get a lot of your mastering on from those magic pots. So those magic pots definitely, they save the best for last, so you can get your grind on. So I'm just finishing up this inventory because there is a finite amount of materia slots that you can actually have, but because I have so many master commands, it doesn't kind of matter now. You know, I have all of the materia I need, so therefore that mastering all those alls was all I needed to do. So I'm going to go back into my cave, and next we're going to be getting started with the enemy skills. The last 6 we're going to need. Alright guys, so we're going to be getting our first enemy skill in this area. And what this enemy skill is going to be is, it's going to be the level 5 death. And we're going to get the level 5 death enemy skill from the parasite enemy. So for the next for the next 4, what we're going to want to do is you're going to want to put manipulate on, because we're going to use manipulate to get 4 of the next 6 enemy skills. So in this area, you're going to be looking for the parasite, which is going to be this squiggly worm looking parasite. And you want to go ahead and use manipulate on it. Now that we cast manipulate on parasite A, we're going to use it to use level 5 death on that individual that actually has the enemy skill. So what I did was I just put the enemy skill materia on all of them on Kate Sith, and it makes it that much easier. So now we learned the level 5 death from the parasite. Alright guys, we're going to be going for our next enemy skill materia. Remember, always use the no encounters on until you get to the area where there's going to be a spawn at. Because remember, save in between each one of these enemy skills, because you don't want to encounter the dragon enemy that has the Pandora's box. We want to make sure that we get that one. That one is actually a headache. It's the most stubborn and almost next to impossible enemy skill to get. When I say almost impossible, it took me 30 minutes just for it to actually get me the Pandora's box. So yeah, if you decide to skip it, I wouldn't be able to blame you, but because we're getting 100% walkthrough here, I'm gonna show you it. So I'm gonna go through the headache so you don't have to, but it is a headache to get that Pandora's box because it's kind of random. And again, it only does it once throughout the actual game. So what we're going to be doing is using our manipulate again to get the dark dragon, and we're going to be getting that dragon force enemy skill. So there goes the dark dragon. Cast manipulate on him, and then let him use dragon force on Kate Sith, because he has all of my enemy skill material. And there we go. There goes the Dragon Force enemy skill knocked out. So if you want to, you can go ahead, kill him, and go ahead and get the next enemy skill. Alright guys, now what we're going to be doing is getting the Angel Whisper enemy skill. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be traveling down the path that Tifa took. Now, our other remaining enemy skills are in the same area. So, as we can see, we're going to go ahead and cast Manipulate. Boom. Polynesia, whatever her name is. Yeah, she has Angel Whisper. So I'm going to go ahead and cast Angel Whisper on Kate Sith because Kate Sith has my enemy skill Materias equipped to them. And boom, we got Angel Whisper on all of my enemy skill Materia. So you can go ahead and finish killing her, and then we'll move on to the next enemy skills. Alright guys, like I mentioned before, our remaining enemy skills are going to be in this same area. So now that we've already gotten the Angel Whisper, the next one we're going to get is the Rolex enemy skill. Now again, we're going to use Manipulate. Now this is the last one we're going to use Manipulate on to get it. The other two we can't use Manipulate on to get the enemy skills. So it's going to be by chance. So I'm going to explain a little bit as to what I mean. Now thankfully we're going to get the last two enemy skills, the Shadow Flare and the Pandora's Box, from the same enemy. So that saves us a lot of time. So we cast Manipulate on the Death Dealer, and we're going to use him to then use the Roulette. He's going to do it on all of the enemies, and yeah, we're going to learn that enemy skill. That's how we learn the enemy skill Roulette. Alright guys, for these last two, I suggest you go back and save because you're gonna do a lot of trying in order to get this Pandora's Box. Now, when it comes to the other one, the Shadow Flare enemy skill, you can get that from two enemies. The enemy that we're actually about to get Pandora's Box from as well, and from fighting Ultima Weapon. Now, we haven't fought Ultima Weapon just yet in this walkthrough, so we're gonna end up not getting it from him, but we're gonna get the Shadow Flare from the same dragon enemy. Now we get Pandora's Box from this ugly looking thing right here. Now you can't use Petrification or Magic Hammer on this enemy, but we can use Reflect. So as you can see, we just got the Shadow Flare enemy skill, and we're going to use Reflect. So when it uses Pandora's Box, now the only thing about Reflect is that when you have Reflect on your party, which I have, as you can see, I accidentally just healed the beast up. Now Pandora's Box is actually going to be this enemy's last attack against you. So we're just going to have to weather out the storm and ride it out. And if it doesn't use it, you're going to have to just restart from your last save. So that's why I said go ahead and save, because this is a very practically almost impossible enemy skill to get. It's kind of just completely random. It will frustrate you. Like I said, I've been grinding for about 30 minutes just trying to get an opportunity to get Pandora's Box. He did it on me one time, but I ended up dying and having to restart on my save all over again. So yeah, if you decide to skip getting Pandora's Box, I couldn't blame you, but because this is a 100% walkthrough, we're gonna get it. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is Pandora's Box. So because I actually have Reflect on all of my party members, it's gonna hit them with Pandora's Box 3 times, which is why the cinematic is so long. But that's Pandora's Box in a nutshell. Alright, and now that the battle is over, let's take a look and see what we have here. Enemy skill. Boom. Pandora's Box, Shadow Flare, level 5 Death, Roulette. And that's all of the enemy skills right there. Alright guys, now it's time to do a little bit more grinding. We're gonna go to the Gelnica ship, the sunken Gelnica ship, and we're going to grind our sources now. Alright guys, so now we're gonna get inside of our submarine and go to the sunken Gelnica ship. Now at this point in time, all of our party members should be level 99. So if you want to, you can go ahead and equip all of their ultimate weapons. The only ultimate weapon I don't have at the moment is going to be Cloud's ultimate weapon. And that's because I haven't defeated ultimate weapon in order to get Cloud's ultimate weapon. So the reason why I bring that up is at this point in time, what you're going to want to do is take Yuffie's ultimate weapon off and give her the conformer. Because when it comes to morphing, we're going to be morphing our source materials, and she's the ultimate morpher. So the morpher with the materia on the actual conformer weapon is going to be boss level for Yuffie. Now, while you're at it, go ahead and take Yuffie's level 4 limit break off and switch to level 3, because Doom of the Living is a way better limit break. So it's kind of weird that her level 4 isn't her best, but you want to go ahead and take care of that now while you're going to be farming your sources. Alright, now in this next main area that we're going to go into, we can actually farm or morph 3 different source materials. So from the unknown, which we're going to fight, this little creepy looking guy right here, the unknown, we're actually going to be able to morph him into a magic source. So again, I'm not going to bother going through too many of them. Well, I'm going to go through all of them, but I'm not going to show the grind. But just know that you can morph him into the magic source, as you can see in this example right here. Alright, the second source we're going to get from this area is going to be the power source. And we can get the power source from this horse teeth looking mamma jamma right here. So this is where we're going to grind our power sources from. You can also grind power sources from another location, but you can get all your sources from this sunken Gelnica ship right here. So we're not going to worry about having to leave anywhere else. We're just going to farm in this area and in the second area for the other two. Alright, now the last source we're actually going to get in this area is going to be the guard source, and we're going to get the guard source from this guy right here. So again, this is where we're going to grind for our 3 sources. Alright, now that we've gotten the sources from this area, now we're going to go into this next area, and this is going to be the area where we're going to farm our luck sources and our speed sources. And those are the final 2 sources that we actually need. Now, we're going to get our 2 different sources from these 2 different enemies right here. These are the only enemies in this section of the Gelnica ship. So we're going to hit him with the morph to get the luck source. And then the little tentacle one down on the bottom is where we're going to get our speed sources from. So because there's so many different enemies in this one, we can space between groups of 3 or groups of the 4, we can actually grind in here and acquire these sources a little bit faster, because there's a little bit more groups of enemies in this one, as opposed to the other area where you can only fight one of each, which takes a little bit longer. So again, we got our second luck source. Now this is where we're gonna grind for a while. I tried to find the actual glitch that will allow you to multiply the sources, but they must have patched it because I couldn't find it, or it didn't work for me. So I'm just gonna spend some time grinding in here just so I can max out their stats. And there's actually going to be one more source that I forgot, which is gonna be the mine source. And you're gonna get the mine source actually from this little Leviathan type dragon right here. So this is where we're gonna continue to grind for our sources. Alright guys, we just finished maxing out all of our stats, so now we're level 99. We have mastered materia all around, and we have maximum attributes. So the last thing we're going to do before we actually end this episode is we're going to go exchange the guidebook for the underwater materia. Now what the underwater materia does for us is it allows us to fight emerald weapon under the water without being under the time limit. So I guess, you know, we must be running out of oxygen or something, but it takes that time limit off. Now in order for us to get that underwater materia, we're going to actually have to exchange the guidebook for that with this man at Calm. Now if you didn't get the guidebook, if you notice in the episode when we went to the underwater Junin reactor, there's a ghost ship. We have to use morph on Yuffie with the conformer to morph that ghost ship into the guidebook, and we're going to trade it with this guy here. Now he trades us 3 things. One, he trades us the guidebook for the underwater materia. Then he also exchanges the earth harp with us and the desert rose. We get the earth harp after defeating emerald weapon and the desert rose after defeating ruby weapon. So again, the first thing we're going to get is that guidebook. So if you hadn't gone to the underwater Junin reactor and morph that, go ahead and do that now, and then come back and trade it with this guy. Once we actually defeat emerald weapon, we get the earth harp. We trade the earth harp with that same guy, and he gives us a set of mastered materia. So he gives us another set of mastered magic, command, and summon materia. And then when it comes to trading him the desert rose, he gives us a gold chocobo, which we already have. So guys, that's going to be it for this episode, and we will be taking on the monsters next.